Hi, Cub Scouts! It's Miss Missy. We're hiking today. What are you doing? Well, here's a few things to keep in mind while you're hiking. You remember we've talked about the 6 essentials, so make sure that you pack those. That'll make sure you're always prepared. Also, please remember the outdoor code and the 7 leave no trace principles. While you're out, make sure that you look at the things around you. I know that some of our ranks have challenges to listen. Just go out into the wild and listen. What do you hear? Do you hear birds? Do you hear other hikers? Do you hear water? Do you hear the wind blowing in the trees? Right now, I hear myself breathing hard, and we just barely started. Man, I think I need to get out a little more. Okay, so some of you have requirements to look for evidence of living creatures. Maybe you'll find living creatures. That'll be great if you run into some wildlife. But if not, you're going to look for some other things, like this. Here we have some scat. Now, that means poop, and this scat has turned white. Here's some more evidence of living creatures. You see that little hole? Yeah, that's a habitat. Something lives in there. What other kind of evidence of living creatures can you find? Look at that awesome hole, guys. What do you think might live in there? A rabbit, a gopher, a badger, maybe a snake? Oh, keep looking for that evidence. All right, here's some more evidence of some wildlife. See those holes in this tree? That is an insect that is boring in and living in this tree. I don't know what insect right now. Not seeing any insects right now. Could be ants, could be termites. Box elder beetles. Those. Okay, I was really excited to find this. You know how we were talking about evidence of animals? Well, this is actually lack of evidence of animals. This is a sagebrush, and it's got sage berries on it. I have actually never seen sage berries because if you look at all these other bushes, they don't have berries. You know why? Because the animals eat them. I don't know why they didn't eat them off of this one bush, but there you can see some dried sage berries that did not get eaten. Hey Scouts, I just found some evidence of an invasive species. Look at that. Oh, it's terrible. I'm just gonna pick that up and take it with me. I hope you guys find some good service to do while you're outside. So another thing I think our Weeblos need to do is identify several plants. Now, it's a really bad time to identify plants because a lot of them are still dead. You can see it's just, there's barely in bloom, there's no leaves, dead grass. But this is one that comes out early. It's very common. You probably even have it in your yard, and it is edible. Does anybody know what it is? You know what it is?
Is it a dandelion?
It is a dandelion. Dandelions are totally edible, and they are all over the place. Here's another one. Here's another one. So these leaves are edible. They are actually called arugula. If you go to a fancy restaurant and they have an arugula salad, they are giving you dandelion leaves. The flower is edible, the root is edible. There are many edible things on the dandelion. All right, I'll see if I can find some more to identify for you. Okay, here's another very popular one. We've passed it all over on this hike. This is called sage. It is very fragrant. It is also edible. It is used as an herb. Smells so good. Touch it and smell your fingers. They smell so good. Do you know what we put it on every Thanksgiving?
Turkey.
Our turkey. We put sage on the turkey. Look, there's a big bush of it right back there. Boom. There's another one of it right there. Again, another very common plant that you will pass on almost any hike in Utah. All right, enjoy looking for some more plants. We are on a really awesome hike that has a few of these placards that show us some plants. Now this one, again, it's wintertime. We can't really see what the plant looks like, but this has a couple pictures on it. Tells us that it's good for eating. And so yeah, if you can find a nature trail like that, you might get some help with identifying some plants. Here's another one. This one's gamble oak. You can see it grows really, really thick. I usually call it shrub oak. That's what I was taught that it's called. And you're gonna see how it just grows in short bushes, really thick together. And when the leaves come out, I mean, you can see some of these dead leaves, but they look like oak leaves. See that? All right, cool. Gamble oak. All right, here's another one that I'm familiar with. Oh, my shadow, gosh darn it. Okay, so this one is nice and fuzzy. It's called lamb's ear. Is it soft?
Mm-hmm.
Did you find a bee?
Yeah. A bee flew right by my hand.
So if you get into some stinging nettle, lamb's ear will probably be growing nearby. And if you wet it and rub it on the stinging nettle, it'll help to take those little nettles out and make that spot feel better. Whoops. Here's another tree that I know. This tall white one with the dark spots that look like eyes, this is called an aspen tree. And you will find them growing in clumps because their root network is all one. Like these trees right here are just one organism. Their roots are all together and then they just sprout up little trees. Now, I've also often mistaken the quaky aspen for a birch tree. They also have white bark, but they don't have those white eyes, I don't think. I think that's the big difference. I'm saying think a lot because you know what? I'm learning too. So if you know the difference, you can help me learn. Thanks. Hi, Cub Scouts. So I'm showing you something very cool. This is more evidence of wildlife. We found this guy crawling around on Eli when we got home from our hike. Now I'm going to show you, I've got a pencil. So this is, I can back up a little bit. It's just a mechanical pencil lead. So you can see when I zoom in nice and close that this guy's pretty little. So his legs are smaller than the pencil lead. Now he's been taped to tissue, but he is real. He was crawling around on Eli. He had not yet embedded his head. He was still crawling around, so we just pulled him off. We went and changed our clothes. But I wanted to be able to show him to you because it's not very often we get to see a real live tick. It's kind of exciting, I think. So here's the tick. Now, I'm showing this to you not so you'll be afraid to go hiking, but so that you'll know what you're looking for after a hike. After a hike, you always want to change your clothes and check your body for anything that shouldn't be there. So he's about the size of a watermelon seed with legs. So if you find something like that on your body and you go to brush it off and it doesn't brush off, then he's probably already put that little teeny tiny head, zoom back in a little bit so you can see that little tiny head into your body. So you want to let an adult know. You don't want to just pull it off because you need that head to come out with you so it doesn't make you sick. So just take some tweezers, grab it very gently, right close to the skin, right next to its head, and very gently and steadily pull it backwards until it releases. Okay? And then you can do what I've done, just put it under a piece of tape, crush it with a hammer, do whatever you want, just get it out off your body. Okay? So, that was exciting, right? Cool. I hope everybody enjoyed your hike.